All right, for topic 16.2, we're using similar polygons. So the idea is that we have to be able to understand similarity. So we're going to start with a similar polygons. Well, similar polygons are polygons with the same shape, but not the same size. So basically, they're going to look alike, but one's going to be a smaller version of the other. So if you look under key concepts, the key concepts kind of walks it through for you. One thing we do need to understand is that in similar figures, that the angles will always be congruent. The angles will always be congruent. So let's go ahead. Angles are congruent. Angles are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent. I can't say that enough. And corresponding sides are proportional. So here, since it's A, B, C, D, and this is W, X, Y, Z, kind of like when we did, or exactly like we did with congruent triangles. A is going to go with W, B is going to go with X, C is going to go with Y, and then D is going to go with Z. And you can see that right through here. Then we can say that AB is going to go with over WX. So that's our proportion, this over that. So I could basically say 15 over 5, which we know is 3 over 1. So we're going to do the same thing on the next one. That's going to be equal to BC. So BC is 12 over XY, which is 4. That also is 3 over 1 when you reduce it. Then the next side, we're going to say we've got 21 over 7. Well, 21 divided by 7 is 3. And then the last but not least, double check that. We're going to have 18 over 6. And that as well is 3 over 1. So you can see that it is proportional. Decide whether the polygons are similar or not, and if so, write the similarity statement. First thing you need to do is orient yourself. So I've got TU, and from 1 to 2, so from 1 to the 2 tick marks, right? So 1 to the 2 tick marks, those are going to go together. So what I'm going to do is we're going to circle those. And then from the 2 to the nothing here, 2 to nothing, I'm going to give that a box. So from 2 to the nothing, I'm going to give that a box. And the last piece we have is down here and down here. So I'm going to give this a cloud or a flower. So now what we need to do is we need to be consistent, and we need to go with the ratio, side to side, side over side, side over side. So let's start with our circles. Our circles are going to be 12 over 16. Well, that reduces, 4 goes into that, 3 times 4 goes into that 4. So it reduces to 3/4. Let's try our rectangles. If I do our rectangles in the same fashion, I'm going to have the rectangle would be 16.5 over, and that's a rectangle, 22. If I take 16.5 divided by 22, you're going to get 0.75. Now, there's a way of doing that fraction, which I probably showed you in class, making it to where you did your extremes over your means. But in this case, let's go ahead and put it back into a fraction or decimal to a fraction. And then the last one we have is our flowers or clouds here. They're going to be 21 over 28. 7 goes into each of those. 7 goes into the top one 3 times. 7 goes into the bottom one 4 times. And so, yes, the same and the same and the same. So I can say, let's go from angle 1, 2 to the nothing angle. We'll call this one 3. So we're going to go from angle 1, 2, and 3. So triangle TUV is similar to triangle XYZ. This little symbol right here means similar. Kind of looks like a mustache. Oh, that's so wrong. Actually, this looks weird. Similar. Oh, that's similar. All right, then we go to the next page. Next page at the top. I'm going to decide if they are congruent or not, excuse me, if they're similar or not. So just looking at them, I would say probably not, but we're going to check with those numbers. So P, Q, and go P prime, Q prime. So we're going to do the image over the pre-image. So the pre-image is one you start with, and then the image is the new one. And since I'm giving you primes, that would be your second one, so that's a translation. So we're going to go 36 over 22, and we're going to go 44 over 16. Okay, so I'm going to say 36 over 22 reduces to, let's see, divide by 2 be 11, divide by 2 is 18. This one we can divide by 4, and I'm going to get 11, divide by 4, and I get 4. They are not the same, so they are not similar. Another way I could do that is I could set it up as the 36 over 22 equal to the 44 over 16, and just multiply this direction, that number, and then this direction, multiply that number. If these are equal, then they would be similar. There'd be equal proportions. If not, if they're not equal, they would be not similar. All right, next one. I'm telling you they are similar because I'm giving you that symbol. List all the congruent parts and similar parts, corresponding parts. All right, so if I'm telling you it's A and R, so A and R are going to be congruent. Angle A congruent to angle R. And then I'm going to say B goes with S. So angle B is going to be congruent to angle S. And then angle C is going to be congruent to angle T. Now corresponding parts. Okay, I'm going to say that, and you can do it from here. You don't even have to look at the pictures. I can say AB would be the same over RS. That ratio should be equal to BC over ST. And then my CA and my TR. Okay, two polygons are similar. I'm telling you they are similar. Find X and Y. I'm going to call this one my pre and this one is my image. Let's go ahead and orient ourselves. Let's do orange here. No, let's do blue. All right, so I'm going to say here's my 1, here's my 1. So that's where they go together. So A to B is a 6. R to S gives me a 4. I have my X down here. And then I'm going to put clouds around these guys. All right, so circle for circle, I'm going to say 4 over 6, which reduces to 2/3. Here in just a short minute, that's going to be your scale factor. You're going to learn that. So I've got 2/3. And I'm going to set that equal to 3 over X and solve that one. And then I'm going to also set 2/3 equal to my Y plus 1 over my 8. Solve each of those. I get 9 equals 2x, divide by 2. X is equal to 9/2. If you want to put it into a decimal, it's going to be, 4.5. The other one, I'm going to get 16 is equal to, make sure you put that in parentheses, 3y plus 3, because I would actually distribute. Take away 3, take away 3. I'm going to get 13 equals 3y, and divide by 3. So y is equal to 13/3. If you put that together, it'd be 4 and 1/3. And 4.3 repeating, approximately. All right, so notes on this page. Look, scale factor, here's where we're getting into that wonderful scale factor. The scale factor is going to be a ratio of corresponding sides of similar polygons. Polygons are any shape, closed shape. We have we're going to go with convex. We're doing convex polygons. So closed figures. Here we go. I'm going to call this one my image, this one's my image. And the first thing we're going to do is find that scale factor. So I want image over the pre-image. So let's orient ourselves. It's AB and A prime, B prime. So they're going to go in order here. Y is going to go with 12. My Z is going to go with my 25. My 30 is going to go with my 50. And my, let's do a triangle. X is going to go with my 30. All right, so finding the scale factor image over the pre-image. So we're going to go with the ones that have numbers. There's a number here. There's a number on the 30 and there's a number on the 50. So we're going to do 30 over 50, which is going to reduce to 3/5. Over here on this side, that's where we're going to do your work because we're going to solve for each of the variables. Variables that we're looking for are X, Y, and Z. So let's do the X. So 3 over 5 is equal to, my X is a triangle. So we're going to do X over 30. So I'm going to say 3 times 30 equals 5X. Divide by 5, that goes in there 6. So 18 is equal to X. The next one, let's do Y. So 3 over 5 is equal to, my Y is on top here, so 12 over Y. So 5 times 12 is equal to 3Y. Divide by 3. So 3 goes into 12 4 times, so it's going to be 20. And the last one is going to be Z. So on Z, that's on the side over here. So 3 over 5 is equal to Z over 25. This one, a couple ways you can do it. You can say 5 times what gave me 25, and 3 times what that same 5 is going to give me 15. Or you can do cross products. 5Z equals 3 times 25 and divide by 5. Z equals 15. And then do the ratios of the perimeters. I will tell you that the ratios of the perimeters should give you back that scale factor. So the ratio of perimeters should always be the same as your scale factor. So I'm going to say the perimeter of my, this one is Z is 15, the Y is 20, and the X is 18. So my image would be 15 plus, or 12 plus 15 plus 30 plus 18 over 20 plus 25 plus 50 plus 30. And I'll add those together, and then when I simplify that, I will still get 3/5. I believe it's 75 over 125. And the last little bit here, if I'm given ABC and XYZ, I'm going to increase my, there we go. So I know A goes with X. I know that B goes with Y, and C goes with Z. This is also W. So if I look at this and I try to find out what W is, it's going to be, well, 180 minus 80 plus 40. So 180 minus 120, which gives me 60. So W equals 60 degrees. Now for the scale factor, because those are all congruent. So now we're going to find the scale factor. So in order, we've got our angles. So we know the AB goes with XY. We know that R over here goes with 33, and this T goes with 28. I'm going to say this is my pre and this is my image. So we're going to say 24 over 16, which will reduce to, let's see, 4 goes into both of those. Ooh, but I could go bigger. 8 goes into both of those. So we can say 3 over 2. That's my scale factor because I am getting bigger. So the value of each variable. So let's do 3 over 2 is equal to, I can go 33 over R and solve that one. I can say 3 over 2 is equal to T over 28, and 3 over 2, well, I only have those other two. Never mind. W we know is 60 degrees. Go ahead and solve those. So I get 2 times 33 equals 3R. Divide by 3. And so 22 is equal to R. The other one's going to be 2T equals 3 times 28. Divide by 2. That gives me 14. T equals 42. Find the perimeters. Again, do your image over the pre-image. Add them all together. You're going to end up with this is 33, 24 plus 42, which is 99, over 22 plus 16 plus 28, which ends up being 66, and I reduce that to 3 over 2, which is the same as my scale factor. It checks. And the last one that we have here I've got polygons with similar, are similar. Find the value of each and show your work. So orient ourselves first. If this is 60, this is my 60. Here's my 90. Here's my slant. So this guy and this guy are going to be together. And then this angle and this angle. So 20 is going to go with the 15. Beautiful. 20 over 15 equals 4 over 3. There's my scale factor. And I can solve all the rest. So this one's a y. Oops, let's make this a cloud. So 4 over 3 is equal to y over 18. Solve for y. And the other one I need to solve for is going to be 4 over 3 is equal to x over 21. So 3x equals 4 times 21. Divide by 3. That gives me 7. So x equals 28. And this one's going to be 3y is equal to 4 times 18. Divide by 3. Y is going to equal, 3 goes in there, 6, 24. And this one I did not ask you for the perimeters, so we don't have to worry about it. The next one, this is just more about the theorem, restating it, and the last problem. Make sure you read the problem itself. So if I know if this is 4, this other one has to be 4. If this is 7, this other one over here is 7. That's 10.5. This over here is 10.5. We're going to call this x, and this is x. And we just need to find x. Oh, and then we probably need to find this guy too. So 7 over 4 equals 10.5 over x. 7x equals 4 times 10.5 and divide by 7. So in this case, x equals 10. And then the other one is going to be 7 over 4 equals, let's just call this m over 6. So 4m equals 42 and divide by 4. M equals 10.5. Ooh, so I know that this is also 10.5. If this is 6, this ends up being, let's see. Okay, actually this up here is, this gives me 42, which then this gives me 6. There we go. So that's 6, and this is 6. I was ahead of myself. And then the perimeter of each, well, I will tell you, the perimeter should be 7 to 4. Because when you add them all together, you're going to have 2 7s plus 3 10.5s over 2 4s plus 3 6s. And it ends up being 45.5 over 26, which is 1.75, which fraction-wise is 7/4.